at that moment, the master just outclassed the student.
Can Arsenal not just lose a game without everyone having to create 25 different narratives?
The first hurdle and we failed it.
Yeah, squad, we have to go and win it now. Arteta, there's no excuses.
We had a moment, like it was like a real moment where you're like, oh my, like that's one of those league-winning moments. Like
Our best football has been played when Zubimendi has been at his best.
Yeah.
This is what City does. This is how they smell blood. This is how they go on and win the league when they're not in a winning position.
Go and prove people wrong. People are hating on you. People are saying
This
this,
is where
that.
it is.
Go and shut everyone up and show them what you actually are, which
Yeah.
is a top talent. You were a wonder kid for a reason.
I think you know if you don't win anything this year, you know where this is going. So I'm just going to leave you to it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave you to it.
So when he doesn't get a goal or assist, what is he doing?
Always one of England's best players every single
He
time
is.
he plays.
It makes sense to believe.
Exactly.
Show these man that you can be European
Exactly.
champions.
What is the message to rival fans that still think that this Arsenal team is going to crumble? Guys, that one hurt on Sunday, right?
Yeah, it wasn't ideal. Wasn't ideal.
I'm joined by Josh, got Dylan, Kenya. Fourth loss of the season. Sounds crazy to say, obviously a painful one Carabao Cup final. Kenya, let me come to you first because you were there. Josh will come to you after you were, Dylan will come to you after you were there as well. It talked to me. The vibe before the game, I've heard people say it felt like a home game. Obviously, it was at Wembley. Everyone was up for it. You know, I haven't won a trophy in 6 years. How are you feeling?
Good, man. I mean, for me personally, I just come off a flight. So literally landed. I'm like, yeah, I'm going Wembley, cool. Going down there, you see the overwhelming support. You know, you go Box Park before. Everyone in there is an Arsenal fan. And we've got a wicked record at Wembley. Do you know what I mean? Mikel Arteta's never lost there as a player or as a manager. So you're going in there, you're looking at our last 2 games against Everton, Leverkusen, and you're thinking, right, we're coming here, we're trophy hunting, as Lee Judges has been saying for weeks. And you're looking at the City team like they've lost they've not won in the last 4. Like you feel confident, and it's disappointing. That's the reality.
It is disappointing. Dylan, what was the vibe like for you? I know and we'll talk about it later. You've been to every single game, home and away, right, this season.
So far, yeah.
So, talk to me about Sunday.
Well, obviously that was a weird one as a neutral venue, but yeah, no, similar to what you guys said, it did feel like a home game. It was really weird. Obviously, you only really mix with Arsenal fans before the game, and then heading down as well. It was. I just didn't see any Man City fans anywhere until I got into the ground. I didn't see any on the way out, obviously, because they were all celebrating and we were off to the station. But it was. It was a good day for it. It was a really good day for it. The sun was out early. It was nice and warm. You really just had a feeling that, you know, today is finally the day we've been waiting for. And there was almost an expectation, which I feel maybe was a bit of a problem on our side. There was a little bit of an expectation because of our record at Wembley, because of just everything building up to it and how desperate we are, that there was a slight expectation we were just going to do it. But yeah, no, we just didn't turn up to me at all. None of them really. Actually, Saliba, I'd get his one.
To be fair, yeah, Saliba, Gabriel. I thought Rice.
I thought
Rice was.
I thought
alright.
Rice was good, but he just had to play a different role because everybody else around him wasn't doing what they're supposed to be doing. Like he basically played as a 6 in that game, having to sweep up everything. And I think he actually did have a decent performance.
Yeah. Josh, we were at Village Underground together, obviously. Us on the panel, the production team, obviously you jumped in and out as well. 700 Arsenal fans behind us. It was a vibe in there. Like,
We were confident.
yeah,
We were confident.
We were.
Was there anyone before that game that said, "Oh, I'm feeling a bit"?
There was no one. No one that I know.
Well, until the squad was announced, actually. When I heard
Even
his
when
name
the
was
squad was
announced.
Even now,
announced.
I'm thinking, yo,
At Village Underground,
yeah.
we were still hyped because I remember we were sat there going, we was all wondering what's happened to Eze. Is he injured? Da, 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 da. But even with Havertz there, because of shades of that Champions League game a few weeks ago, we was like, is he gonna connect with Gyökeres and we're gonna get that? They're gonna be excitement. So I feel like everyone was excited. Me, even though I was excited, I thought we're gonna win, but there was still the thing where it's City. Like I was sitting on the panel on Live at 5 and they're going, yeah, City's rubbish. But I'm like, no, it's still City though. You don't know. They're just going to turn it on. And they did in the second half. So.
I said that leading up to the game. I was like, look, yes, Arsenal have been better this season. Looking at the form recently, City were off the back of 2 draws and 2 losses. And quite damning losses, you know, the way they went out of the Champions League to Real Madrid. A draw at home against Nottingham Forest, draw against West Ham, and, you know, in a title race. But I said the leveller is they have the experience. They have the players that have been there and done it. They've been in finals more recently. They were in a final, FA Cup final last year. We haven't been in a final in 6 years. Pep Guardiola has now won 16 trophies, I think 15 before the game. Like, that is a leveller. And as bad as City have been, they're still second in the Premier League. They have just gone out of the Champions. They're still in the FA Cup just like we are, and they've made it to the Carabao Cup final just like we have. So it's not like there was a million miles between the team. I think because we've been so desperate for it as Arsenal fans, it feels like we're actually miles ahead of where we are. Whereas for the last 3 years, we've only been one position lower.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We've been very good, but now it feels like we're a lot further along. So.
And I think because they haven't beat us for ages as well.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
5
like
or 6 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6 games, and then you're going, wait a minute, these guys can't beat us, and we're about to take them into a final where they're drawing with West Ham and whoever. We can take these.
Yeah. I think the thing that hurt me is, and I said before the game, if we lose this game, you can lose. It's a one-off game against a very good City team, or maybe if you want to call it a depleted, whatever you want to call it, an experienced City team. I said we can't lose our heads after the game because there's still a lot to do, and I do still echo that, but the performance for me is what hurt more than anything.
Who are you putting it down to, the players or the manager? Or a constant?
It's all of them. I just feel like, I looked at the players and I'm like, almost a theme of all season, there's only probably about 3 of them that turned up for that final. Do you know what I mean? What about the other 8 of you? Do you want to win it or what? What about the attackers? Do you want to score a goal? Do you want to contribute? And I feel like we're sat here saying the same things that we've said in almost every game this season. And then the manager, I'm sat there at half-time with my uncle and I'm like, I'm getting Calafiori at half-time. You're waiting to the 70th minute to make change. This isn't the league. This is 90 minutes to do or die. If you don't win it, that's it. It's done. There's no trying to rectify this in a second leg or anything like that. You got 90 minutes and he was so slow to act. Tactically, I thought he was just outclassed. You saw at that moment the master just outclassed the student. And I was just like, this season you've done really well in terms of being fast to react, getting your subs in quickly. It was like watching the old Arteta really in that final in the sense that he was just so slow to act. And if I'm being honest, as a collective, the club, they just underperformed massively.
Completely agree. Josh, what do you put it down to?
Well, you said the old Arteta. The old Arteta was taking Tavares off in 30 minutes and going, nah. He was doing halftime changes and going, nah, this isn't working. Let me change it up. I remember because there was clearly a time where he was doing that. Then they went to a time where he was like, I'm being stubborn now. I'm not doing no subs. And then on that game, it's exactly what you said. And I feel like that just rolled over because Nketiah had that yellow card from so early. It was like, right, you got to change it. And then even we got up and they scored the first goal. So we've gone, 5, 10, 15 minutes into the first half. And we're still sitting there waiting for the subs. The subs are coming off. The first goal happens. The second goal happens. I'm like, when is this happening? And because it took so long, eventually Ben White got a yellow card on the other side. So now you've got 2 of your fullbacks on yellow cards.
Exactly.
And then that, I feel just like the rotation should have happened. It should have went, this isn't working. Havertz isn't working in the midfield. I've got to change it up and do something else. And after that first goal went in, it should have been like this. It should have been, change it now. Get in there, swap this. You go here, you go there. And I feel like Zubimendi should have come off. Norgard should have went in there, held up the midfield because we lost the midfield. We had already lost the wings because their wingers were doing a madness on us. And as soon as we had both fullbacks booked, it was kind of over for us because we was too afraid to even go in for a tackle. It was mad.
We were just absolutely outclassed.
Yeah.
Like on the day, sometimes you have to hold your hands up and say they were the better team.
Exactly.
They deserved to win. There is no arguments, and all the backlash. Like it feels like there's been more noise about Arsenal losing than City winning, which is expected. Obviously, Arsenal fans are loud online. I do get it, but it's like, can Arsenal not just lose a game without everyone having to create 25 different narratives? Arteta's anti-football.
Yeah.
Arteta parked the bus. Arteta does this. This player ain't in Ballon d'Or conversations. Saka's finished. Do you know what I mean? Like, can we not just lose a game?
No,
Lost
because
4 games all season. I get it. People want to laugh and whatever, and you can have the Arsenal tears and cool. You've only had it 4 times this season. Maybe you've had it after a couple of draws as well. But we lost the game. We're outclassed. I haven't heard any fans actually come out and be like, City did this. Oh, let's talk about the charges. We haven't spoken about that. We've said, we've been humble. City deserve to win the game, have their trophy. We know where we are. We know what's still to play for this season. Dylan, talk to me about that because obviously you're active on social media as well. You would have had backlash and seen it. It's so loud after Arsenal lose, isn't it?
No, yeah, no, it's the same every week. Obviously, we're the most important club in world football, aren't we? In terms of so we just are like we're all everyone cares about. And Yeah, I mean, there's a narrative for everything every single week, but at the end of the day, I don't know. It's just you just have to kind of ignore it after a while and soak it up. And look, like, at the end of the day, like you said, it's there's only so much we can do. We lost the football match. It's only our fourth loss of the season. And yeah, I mean, we just have to honestly just bounce back from it, and I think we will. And the thing for me is, after that Carabao Cup final, it obviously was devastating and XYZ. But I spoke to a mate of mine. He's a Liverpool fan. When I got back to my area in the evening. And he told me, look, at the end of the day, he went to the Carabao Cup final last year when they got beat by Newcastle. It was their first trophy in God knows how long. Well, it's a lot more embarrassing than losing to Man City, put it that way. He walked out of that stadium after he'd lost to Newcastle, and he was obviously devastated. You've just lost the final. I was miserable as well for that evening. But when he won that Premier League in May, he said when he watched Liverpool win that league in May, like, he couldn't have given a toss about the Carabao final. And look, if we bottle the Premier League and then go to Budapest and win the Champions League, I'll still be annoyed that we didn't win the Premier League. I will be, because of the nature of it. But I know come May, if we win that Premier League, I'm not going to give a toss about the Carabao Cup. And that's just the truth. I know that sounds like an excuse. I know that sounds like me like putting off what it meant to us, because I'm not going to do that either, because I really wanted to win that game. It would have been our first trophy in 6 years. I was desperate to see us win it. I was obviously at Wembley. Everyone who was there was desperate and really wanted to see Arsenal win it. But like I said, I think when you look at the bigger picture and you look at what the narrative is going to look like in May, I think if we do win that Premier League, we're not going to care. I don't think we're going to care about this in complete all honesty. And there's also another form of quadruple still on the cards, so we can make a little change there. Maybe a certain club go down. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
fill in, but you know what I'm saying. Look, there's still a good season to be had. Put it like there's still a good season to be had. It's not end of May, everything's out the window. We're staring down the barrel at a summer full of Arsenal have 1-0 again. We're not at that stage yet. It's just an unfortunate one that we've got to swallow.
Would that almost be a better quadruple than actually winning quadruple?
I think if you told
Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, Spurs relegated, or Premier League, Champions League, FA Cup, and Carabao.
I think if you told me at the start of the season,
No, I'm taking the real. Why are we doing this, bro? I'm taking the real quadruple. I'm taking the real quadruple. Something that no one's ever done, bro.
I would as well.
Yeah?
I would as well. But
I'm just putting a question out there.
It's a worthy replacement. Put it that way. It's a worthy replacement. But I agree. I would have taken the real quadruple.
Even treble. I never said we're going to do a quadruple.
Treble rolls off the tongue better.
I don't think we're going to do it.
I'm not going to lie. I've been saying treble all season.
Treble rolls off the tongue better.
Just because of the kits. Just because I like the kits, I went, we got classic red and white. We got the blue lightning, my first kit ever. We got the anniversary red and white burgundy. I said, yeah, free kits, free trophies. Then when that fake burgundy fourth kit came out, I went 4 kits, 4 trophies, quadruple, it's happening. And then it was fake, it was AI. So I was like, damn. Well,
I'm dead.
3 kits, 3 trophies.
I've never thought the quad was happy. Always thought it was ridiculous. It's a lovely thing to dream about. You know, why stop fans from dreaming? This is a lot of the backlash I've been hearing as well. Is your fans
you thought you were going to do this? Why not?
Why would we not?
This is the whole point.
We're seeing one of the best Arsenal teams in a long time, and people are telling us not to dream and believe. Like, I don't get it.
Look, at the start of the season, what are you doing? You're in every competition to win it, and until you go out of that competition, you're thinking, right, we could win this. And obviously,
when you're Arsenal, obviously.
when you're realistically, you're going, we know we're not going to win all of these because no one ever does. But you fight until the last minute. Do you know what I'm saying? I've waited so long, just to believe that my team could do it. Not just starting the season and going, we're going to win the league or whatever, we're going to be good, and then it's top 4, to actually believe that my team can compete. So now that we're here, I'm enjoying it. This is what happens when you're at the top. All the haters will come out. What do United say? Hated, adored, never ignored. Because they were at the top for so long that they could say that. Now that we're here, you just got to take the licks, fam, and then win the trophies to back it. That's why people get onto us, because we haven't confirmed our greatness over these past few years. Do you know what I'm saying? A couple FA Cups, it's not enough. We need to now show, man, we are the top team. And this is why people are getting to us about the Carabao Cup, because that was the first hurdle and we failed it. For me, it wasn't even just about the Carabao Cup. It was the quadruple dream. These players could have went out there and fought for something that no one had ever done before. And they didn't show one little ounce of anything. That's what the biggest disappointment for Sunday was for me.
I know what you mean, but I think amongst all of the narratives, I think the main one is we'll live, to be honest. I think we're Carabao Cups. Again, I really wanted to win it. I'm not going to pretend that it means nothing to me. I'm not going to pretend it meant nothing to Arsenal, but we'll live. I think it's not something that we need to have our heads down for weeks about. It's not something that we need to think is going to change the course of the season, because at the end of the day, who's our next Premier League game? Is it
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth
at home.
Bournemouth at home. That's the perfect way to bounce back, carry on in terms of winning the Premier League title. And then obviously there's the game at the Etihad next month to put it right. So
Bournemouth's not easy as well, by the way.
Bournemouth's not easy, but
Bournemouth don't lose. They don't win, but they don't lose. Yeah.
Well, Man United
Yeah.
just drawn
I
with
think
them, haven't they?
I think in their last couple of games, the only game they might have lost was actually against us. If I can remember rightly, they actually, like you said, they just draw a lot.
Yeah. I mean, they're good.
We'll be
team.
fine.
I think we'll be fine.
We got previous at the tail end of the season against
Yeah.
Bournemouth as well, with the Reece Nelson 97th minute.
Yep.
Sorry.
Oh, both
that was
really.
amazing. That was
We were
amazing.
2-0 down in the 60th minute, and obviously came back to win 3-2. Still one of the best. And I say this, and it sounds weird. That's probably the best moment that I've been at to watch live as an Arsenal fan.
You were there as well?
I was there,
Oh, mad.
and it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
The best moment I've watched should be lifting a Premier League trophy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Lifting trophies. How can my best moment as an Arsenal fan be watching a 97th minute winner in a Premier League game that led to nothing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Well, that's what we need to change, and that's why. And I get people bantering online, but like you said it perfectly. Now we can believe. Now we can start the season going. I could actually see us, maybe not winning a Champions League, but getting to why can't we get to a final? We got to quarterfinals 2 years ago, semi-final last
We
year.
should get to the final.
Now-
Now we should
I
get
think
to the
obviously
final. Look at the draw
Barca,
as well.
Believe.
We should be, realistically be believing we can win the Premier League after finishing twice 3 years in a row, having the summer transfer window now that we had. Liverpool has obviously dropped off. City ain't the same. Of course we're going to believe. So for rival fans bantering us about believing we could do a treble or maybe a quadruple, it's like, well, would you put Arsenal favourites for the Premier League? Yeah, you probably would.
Yeah.
Are they one of the favourites for the Champions League?
Yeah.
If not, maybe the bookmakers' favourite? Yeah, they are. The Carabao Cup final. We're probably maybe just edge being favourites on form this season. FA Cup as well with Southampton. It makes sense to believe.
Exactly.
Not like 10, 12, 14, 15 years ago where it was just delusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I feel like, look, as Dylan said, Carabao Cup final, it was disappointing, but I'm not going to lose my head because I just see it as, like you said, we're 9 points clear at the top. It's not like, if Man City were 2 points behind us, that would be a different story. I'd be looking at that like they've got a siphon over you now, they've got the psychological edge. But I just think we're 9 points clear. They still got to go to a few difficult places. They've got to play Chelsea, for example. One thing that's kind of been in our favour is that we did all those really hard away games,
Right at the beginning.
really at the beginning of the season, going to Old Trafford, going to Anfield. Do you know what I mean? Our really difficult game is at the Etihad, and I just see it as these players have an opportunity now to say, right, we failed in that Carabao Cup final. We actually kind of proved our haters right. We now want to reverse that, go to the Etihad, put in a brilliant performance, go and get 3 points, and say, yeah, this is where we won the league. This is where we made, cemented ourselves as now. We're not messing about this, we smell blood. That's absolute rubbish. We've come here to win the league. All this, reversing a place as well that we've not won at for a very long time. I think last year we were so unfortunate not to win. We had so much going against us. Go there now, just put in a brilliant performance, lock in, use that final as momentum, use that as like fire in your belly to say, right, I want to win the league. I keep saying it. It's so simple. Do you want to win the league? If it's yes, go and win games. Simple as that. Put your head down. Stop. Who cares about what flipping John Obi Mikel and John Terry and all that got to say? Lock in, go and win the league. And then in May, when people are saying all these narratives about you, they will remember you as, but you won the league. That's the rebuttal.
Yeah.
Oh, you're boring, but I won the league, mate. Simple as that. So it's so simple.
100% agree.
Okay,
It is
go.
it is just that hurdle we have to get over. We're actually 6 wins away from it now. If you
Exactly.
win the next 6
Cup
games.
finals.
Actually, if you win the next 5 games and beat City, I think you win the league as
Exactly.
well. Cup finals is exactly right. I know you just mentioned it, and I kind of agree with what you said, but I want to ask you guys, do you think that can have a psychological effect, losing that Carabao Cup final? Because if City had beat Forest and beat West Ham, for example, and it was 5 points,
Yeah.
they had a game in hand to go to, and then they could play us at the Etihad and go above us, I think I'd be looking at it a bit differently, especially with the performance that we put in,
Yeah.
which was disappointing, and they looked clearly the better team than us on the day. But the fact that it is 9 points, the fact that they've drawn their last 2 games in the Prem and then gone out of the Champions League, I'm not too worried about it. Do you think it could have an effect in the league?
I don't know. Look, I came out of Wembley and I found myself miserable, but not as angry as I thought I would be. I kind of walked out of Wembley and I was more upset about the fact that I didn't have a night out celebrating with my mates than I was the fact that we didn't have a Carabao Cup trophy. And I think the players would have I could just get the vibe as well that the players weren't devastated either. They didn't seem like heartbroken like they were after the PSG second leg or
because you think
on the
they-
final day of the Premier League seasons recently. It didn't look that way. I think it just they seemed a bit more relaxed, a bit more like, yeah, we know that was awful today, like heads down, but like we'll be fine. Like, and that's kind of the way as a fan I feel as well. I just think, yeah, I don't think it's psychological wise. I don't think it's gonna ruin us.
Is that because you think they know what there is to play for? If we
Yeah.
were out of every other
Yeah.
competition and then you lost the Carabao Cup final, it would feel...
Yeah. There's obviously still so much to play for. So I think, yeah, there's always that. They haven't got time to put their heads down. You know what I'm saying? There's still so much, like you said, so much to play for. So
Yeah.
I think we'll be fine.
Josh, where are you at with that psychological edge that City might have
I think
or Arsenal might not have?
I think if it was 2 years ago, that would have broken us. I think the difference now, as much as people say these lot haven't got the experience to get over the line, they do have the experience because they was in the race and they failed to get there. Do you see what I'm saying? So they've been there, they've done this, and they know what it's like to not make it. So for me, whatever 6-7 games in Carabao Cup and not winning the Carabao Cup is not a big deal, especially when you're looking at the bigger picture and you know that FA Cup's still there, Champions League's still there, Premier League's still there, and our Champions League form has been amazing this season. Premier League, as much as you want to talk about the performances, I think that's a Premier League problem and not an Arsenal problem.
Yeah.
Because if you look at all of the attacking players, who's the attacking players on the other teams that you're going, that's the guy. That's the guy. In past seasons, you were looking at Ivan Toney, a Harry Kane or whatever, who having standout seasons. You could say maybe Thiago
Yeah, it got
at Brentford. And that's it. All the big men that got brought in for big money, where are they? Where's Isak? Where's Ekitike? Where's Gyökeres? Where's whoever? Yeah, I know people want to throw out the little Gyökeres since January has done the... Don't care about that. Yeah, I don't like when Arsenal fans do those stats. It's like back in the day when Wenger used to go, well, in the calendar year, we got the most, but we didn't win the trophy, bro. Yeah, and I was a Wenger in guy, but we didn't win the trophy. Yeah, so I don't like those weird stat pads. My eye test, do it in the game, let me see, score the goals, yeah, and let me see that. Do you know what I'm saying? Not less fake stat padding. But psychologically, I don't think we're going to be broken by this. If anything, this is something to push you on more. I always said before the game, it's going to go either way, we win. If we lose, that's going to give us the impetus to push on further.
Yeah.
And if we win, we've got our first trophy in the bag and go, hey, I want some more.
exactly.
I do want to address one more thing about the final, and then we'll put it behind us forever.
Okay.
Forever.
All right? Last bit of therapy. Did Arteta get it wrong starting Kepa?
Yes.
Just from my point of view, quickly, I said I would start Raya.
But I
I had a
mean,
back
yeah.
and forth with your
I mean,
dad, and he was saying Kepa,
No,
I was saying
guys.
Raya, he was saying Kepa, I was saying
I
Raya.
was
I
saying
have
Kepa. I was
tapes
saying
on that
Kepa.
guy, bruv. I told him when we played Chelsea, I said to him, I'd bring Raya in from now.
Yeah, the Chelsea first leg
That's
was awful.
I said,
Chelsea first leg.
go and watch Forever Arsenal. I stood in for Jack. I said, I know you guys. Kepa's been fantastic in that little run in terms of the cup. He's been comfortable. I've been fine with him. But this is something that we have to take serious. And to me, you play your best team. I know it's a moral obligation, but cool, we did the moral thing, but we're sat here saying we didn't win it.
Moral obligation, though, Kenya. I
Don't care.
completely agree. It's not.
Bring me Raya.
Shouldn't be. I said this the other day.
Best team, best players.
It's not
simple as
Sunday
that.
League where if you don't play one of the guys, their mum's going to be, on the sidelines arguing, oh, you left my kid out.
Yeah.
They're getting paid
Yeah.
hundreds of
He's
thousands
still-
of pounds
I'll be
a
honest,
week.
Still gonna
I'm not being
play-
funny here.
yeah.
As a guy who played in goal for 10 years
Brothers
in
never
my life,
won at Wembley.
I can't imagine anything better than playing all of those fodder games against Port Vale, XYZ, Chelsea, all these games where there's no pressure. And then the big day when there's pressure, 100 grand, I'll just sit down, let Raya deal with the pressure.
And he's used to that. He was at Chelsea, then he became the number
Real
2.
Madrid.
Real Madrid. He
Playing a load of
won a Champions League with
playing a load of football, playing a load of football, getting paid for that as well.
what I'm
Easy
saying.
games, cup final comes on, all the pressure's on. I don't fancy it. Say, yeah, David Raya can play. Yeah, I'll still get paid.
Yeah, but we know that Kepa's got a bit of ego because we've seen what's happened in previous finals. And me, I forgot. I only remembered the one final with the
Bro.
penalty incident, yeah? It was only post-match when I went back and went, hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah.
because
He's lost 6 finals.
I know, and
at
this is the
Wembley.
thing. I was a
Is it six?
Kepa in.
now. I thought
it was only five.
Six
It was 5
finals
before the game. Now it's 6.
Now it's 6.
Oh my
And I was Kepa in. Not
didn't ask
of
for
a.
West versus
He should play.
Liverpool.
If Raya played, I would not complain at all.
Yeah,
Because
neither.
for me, Raya's arguably been our best player this season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He's in the top 3, for sure.
100%. So when the fact that it was a debate on Kepa, I could go, I hear it. I didn't really mind because I believe that the team is strong enough that shouldn't have mattered. And even
Yeah, I do agree.
even with when that first goal went in, it was only 1-0 and there was 30 minutes
Exactly.
to play.
There was still
so you could have had that Kepa mistake and we still could have come back. But we didn't because we
No, I
completely
think-
shut down. Arteta got
But that killed
the
us.
decisions wrong after that. That's even the other thing. If you're a manager, you're meant to assess the situation. You've picked your team or whatever. When you've realised that it's not working, you change it. Now, you don't have to do the whole Kipsky thing and go, I'm changing my goalkeeper straight away. You ain't got to do that because you've got enough stronger outfield players that they should be able to
Down.
perform and pull us back.
Well, that's the thing. I think the problem with that mistake is that Arsenal, from what we've seen so far this season, whether you want to call it boring or not, we're very good at soaking up pressure no matter who we're playing. Just letting the other team have all of the ball, but keeping them at arm's length. If we have the other team like this and they're swinging punches and they can't reach our face, there's nothing we could. That's what we're really good at defensively. I think in that game there was a perfect example of us having City at arm's length. They didn't really create anything clear cut. Haaland had a header in the first half that went just over the bar, but even that, he would have done really well to get on target because of the way we defended them. I just think with David Raya in goal there, that's another one where they clip it in, catch, and then we got the other end, probably lose the ball, but then soak up a load more pressure and then wait on a moment. Maybe the game goes to extra time, maybe it goes to penalties, who knows. I just think for Kepa to do that completely kills the backbone that we almost have, and then all of a sudden we're open because now we have to score a goal. We found ourselves 1-0 down, and then they hit us again really quickly, and it was game over from there.
100% agree. I agree with that. I agree with there has been so many games this season where if you watched Arsenal, we've been under loads of pressure.
Yeah,
Not
we could have
playing
been
that
under
great.
pressure all
But
game. We could have been
sometimes it doesn't
under
work.
pressure.
Brighton
We'll
away.
weather the
Sometimes it doesn't
storm
work.
for such a long time because we've got that back four and we got Raya in goal, who's a massive part of it.
Claiming
and then we'll either be 1-0 up or we'll find a way to go and win. Whether it's
But sometimes it doesn't work in
Cup final.
posts, even though it's been far and few between or whatever, because this is why sometimes people are sitting there going, why are we playing that? You can't, because we've been going, it's been a bit close. When we've had games like Southampton and Villa where they're scoring in the last minute because we're sitting there soaking on pressure. Like at City, you could see the goal was going to come. You know when you just know when someone's peppering. When we do it to other teams, I go, the goal's coming.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Whereas
And
if Raya was in goal, I would have felt different. I would have felt like even if they had
but
chances,
that happens.
they'd
It's
still back
happened.
us.
Well, no, that's the thing.
The one with Gabriel, when him and Gabriel and they had the miscommunication. The Southampton, Villa, last minute goals where it's just a long ball. In those 5-10 minute periods, in those times, we were just sitting off and letting them have the ball because we thought our defense is so good, they're not gonna do anything to us.
Yeah.
And in those same games, especially I remember in the Southampton, in the Sunderland one. Sorry, I kept saying Southampton. In the Sunderland one. When we were attacking them in the second half, they were sitting back. They was just like, oh man, there's nothing we could do. And then we just stopped and sat off and just let them have the ball, and then they scored.
And the thing is with that is a cup final is the perfect game for us to run with that game plan which we have all season, because a cup final is a game where you're not in a rush to score. It's not like we're playing a game where we need all 3 points in XYZ. We can soak up that pressure. Game can go to extra time if it likes, and we'll get chances in and amongst this time where we might score a goal. But the cup final is a perfect example of that. Someone has to win that game. So whether it takes penalties, whether it takes, what I'm saying, it wasn't a case where we'd have to score.
Yeah, but I think the thing is, because we cancelled out Man City in that first half. We were stopping them from making passes. We were blocking the channels. You were seeing we were switching man-to-man zone. There was no way they were getting through. And that's why they was ending up just doing long balls in the first half. Then in the second half, Pep told them, no, less of that. When Kepa was getting the ball and he was getting ready, waiting for these men to come and press him, they weren't pressing. They were sitting back and waiting so that we would do the long ball, lose the ball. Pep saw what was happening and changed his tactics accordingly, whereas Arteta didn't do that. And then even though he'd seen that had happened and the things started piling up, and the subs weren't happening or nothing was changing, that's where we lost it.
I think that's a great point, and I think that was almost more important to the game than the mistake. Pep changed how City were going to play based on Arsenal's goalkeeper.
Yeah.
If David Raya's in goal, his distribution is better than 99% of keepers in Europe in the Premier League, right? We know his passing is so good. The way how quickly he can get it out to the fullbacks, and then we're on the attack. Kepa can't do that. So especially in that second half, like you said, they had the front three just sitting off him, block the passing lanes into Zubimendi and Rice in the middle. They couldn't get anywhere near the ball. If we want to play out, we have to try and play out to the fullback. All of a sudden, there's two pressing on Ben White, two pressing on Hincapié. They win the ball back. It was that over and over and over again. We were under pressure. We couldn't get out. It needed to change. Arteta waited 20, 30 minutes too long to make the changes. By that time, we're 2-0 down. The game was dead.
Yeah.
Pep Guardiola
Broken
masterclass.
down. Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. We got scored on the day.
Deserved
The
it.
goalkeeper choice, changed a lot. Not having Timber there and having Ben White, who wasn't fully. I actually
No,
thought
Eze.
White was all right, but Timber is.
In the first half he was fine as well, but
The thing,
I thought Ben White was one of the worst players, to be fair.
I thought
I
I thought he did it right in the first half.
Do you
In the
know
second
what?
half,
Giving the
he
ball
kept
away
it.
a lot, just not
Yeah.
really.
I just thought the fullbacks in terms of going forward were really poor. When you think, okay, Semenyo got past Nkapia twice, but did Doku even get past Ben White? I don't think he did, if I'm being sat there.
No, he didn't.
I don't even think he dribbled
Definitely
past
not
him.
in the first half.
So in terms of defensively, that's why I sit there and actually feel sorry for the centre-backs, because Erling Haaland didn't get a sniff. We're talking about one of the best strikers in world football. Literally got pocketed by Saliba in
But
that
you
final.
know what, Kenya? I think that
And-
was
and I
almost
think-
by design.
Yeah, but I think that's...
He didn't need a sniff, and they still beat us.
Yeah,
2-0,
but I
you know
think
what
that's more like on us than it is on them, in the sense that as we've been saying all season, I'm looking at my defence and most of them are doing their job, and I'm looking further up the pitch and I'm like, Saka, Gyökeres, who else played? Havertz. What are you going to do? Trossard. These are senior players. They're not 18-year-olds. Do you know what I mean? You're internationals of your country. And I'm looking at you. I looked at Havertz in that final. I was like, that is dreadful. That was an awful performance. But
Well, look,
you have to hold it.
Let's put it behind us now.
Forgotten already.
Said, forgotten.
Forgotten already.
I'll throw it away. Get out of here.
So if you look at, obviously people were talking about the quadruple, it's not going to happen now. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
But if you look at the treble that United did in '99, the League Cup was the one that they didn't win. If you look at the treble that City did,
Well, it's not a real treble.
League Cup was
It's
the
not
one that
really
they
a
didn't
real
win.
treble if you win the League Cup instead of the FA Cup. The real treble is
so the
FA
real
Cup.
treble,
The
is
real
technically
treble's still on.
still on.
Yeah.
There's a question here: is the season going as expected so far? I think we
Yeah.
can say as Arsenal fans,
Yes.
it
I
is
think
maybe
it's
even
going-
better than expected.
I was going to say, I think it's going better than expected, to be honest. Because for me personally, going to this season, it was more of like, right, we need to win the league. Like, it's non-negotiable. You can't be in title races 3 times in a row. You've not won it. You've gone and look at our summer, look at the reinforcements we brought in, look at our squad. We have to go and win it now. Arteta, there's no excuses. A lot of money spent. You've got the support of the fans as well, and the club has to be won. And I'm sat here saying we could win the FA Cup. We're unbeaten in the Champions League. No other team can say that. We've actually been excellent in every. We've only dropped points or whatever, or dropped a win once against Leverkusen. But then we turn it around in the next leg and we're through into the next part. So I just think we're actually looking at a lot of competitions like we're actually a favourite. Like even last season, the season before, we weren't favourites to win the Champions League. We weren't favourites really to win a League Cup or an FA Cup. I'm looking at all the competitions we are in now, like we're actually one of the best teams around. I mean, Pep said it the other day, Arsenal one of the best teams alongside Bayern, maybe Barcelona. Like what does that say? You've got one of the best managers ever saying that.
You know what they'll say? They'll
beaten the
say
best
he's
team.
doing mind games. They'll
Yeah.
say he's doing mind games.
But
He's not doing mind games,
it's a real.
man.
But you look at our record. We've lost 4 times in all competitions. We topped the Champions League group stage. We're doing pretty well in the Champions League. Consider all the mitigating circumstances of we've had so many players out. I think people need to realise as well, we've not had a single game week where everyone's been fit, yet we've weathered that storm. Like, think about going to Aston Villa away, having to go Chelsea away, and you don't have your starting centre-backs, yet we've made it through those games. Do you know what I mean? So we've done much better than I thought we were going to do.
Yeah,
That's why I'm positive.
I think that's a great way to put it. I keep saying until the situation during the season is one that I wouldn't have taken before the season,
Yeah.
I'm going to be positive. I'm going to back the
Exactly.
team. I'm going to support. If you'd said to me at the start of the season, and I've been saying this for the past few months, you would have just lost the Carabao Cup final to City, but you got to a final. You're still in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. You're still in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and you got Sporting Lisbon, and you're 9 points clear in the Premier League. I still would take that.
I mean, Pep said after the final, I would rather be 9 points clear than win a Carabao Cup. What does that say? You see the City players, after they've won the Carabao Cup, of course they're very happy, but they're saying, we smell blood, we want to go and win the league. What does that say? Like, the reality is, we're all upset that we didn't win the Carabao Cup. But if I said to you, we only won the Carabao Cup, we would be sat saying that's not good enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I'm looking at the situation, like, we still got 3 other trophies that we can go and collect, that we are favourites to do. Go and do it.
And they're saying they smell blood. They're 9 points behind. They're not really smelling blood. They might smell like a little.
No, but this is what they do. This is what they do.
Hopeful
This is
smelling
what
blood.
happened.
And do you know what? They
Was it 2
should
seasons
hope,
ago?
really.
2 seasons. Yeah, when they won the treble, and Pep done the. They've got to do more. The players need to do more. The fans need to do more, and all that. He done that in January. Yeah, and then they came back on smoke and won the treble. Yeah, what?
Yeah, and they went out
But
to
this is-
Southampton in the
but
I
this
think it was
is-
the quarterfinals of the League Cup that year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
they
this
didn't throw the whole season away. Their fans still supported. We've lost
Yeah.
in the final to Man City. We need to do exactly the
Yeah,
same.
but this is what they're doing. This is what City does. This is how they smell blood. This is how they go on and win the league when they're not in a winning position, because they've done this before. They've done the race.
Yeah.
And then when City fans turn around and say, "We've done this before," you know, we've been in these races with Liverpool where they thought we was out of it. We was 9 points, 10 points behind, and then we came back. So my thing is not to write off City. Yeah, City are gonna do what City does, but I'm looking at us and I'm saying,
Exactly.
you guys win your games. Yeah, they can smell all the blood they want. They can drink all the blood they want. Vampire settings. Yeah, but it's not going to matter if we win the games that we need to win.
So where are you at then? What do you think's going to happen? What's your mindset? What are you saying right now?
Gonna win the league. Well, I say that.
League.
gonna
You
win
confident
the league.
still?
I'm still confident. I'm still confident. I think by the time we get to the Etihad, if we leave there with points, it's done. It's finished. So that's the game. That's the game that I'm really looking forward to. And anything can happen between. It's just like I'm saying. We could go into the next Bournemouth game and draw that game. And then straight away, people are going to be going, "Oh my God, this is happening! The balls, no!" Going crazy and all that stuff. But you just gotta see it out and go with it. A draw is a draw. Look at what some of the teams that we're facing. It's not even just us across the Premier League. Anyone that's expecting a certain result from a certain team, it hasn't exactly gone their way. Yeah. You're going to go to Wolves, you're going to win because they're done, they're finished.
Yeah.
And then Wolves are going battering people. Forest, yeah, Chelsea losing. It's been happening all over the place. Even Liverpool, when everyone thought Tottenham was going to get moved to at Anfield. Yeah, everyone was going, 12-0, 12-0. And then Spurs got their little bit of hopium and thought, we're going to come back. Yeah. So football is unpredictable. This is what football is. So you can't just say, we're going to... Very rarely can you predict something like saying, I think we'll go invincible. Yeah, that barely ever happens.
Yeah, that's very rare.
Very rare. So
True.
It's not going to be as smooth a ride as people think it might be, but we're going to do it.
Yeah, Dylan, let me ask you about the Prem then, because when Arsenal beat Brighton and City drew with Nottingham Forest, a lot of people said it was done. Then the week after, Arsenal beat Everton, City drew with West Ham. Everyone was like, now it's definitely done.
Yeah, the moment of hope was definitely Brighton. That when that full-time whistle went, and then while the players are all shaking hands, everyone's looking at their phones, and there's like 20 seconds left of the City game. We're all just refreshing. No one's even looking at the players. Shut up. Like, everyone's like refreshing the phones. Got that full-time. As soon as that full-time whistle went in the City game, that's when everyone really got the hope and like the belief, and you could see it in the stadium. You could feel it in the stadium after. West Ham, obviously, them dropping points at West Ham was the real like, oh my God, it's actually happening, isn't it? Like,
but that's my question.
The
People
full
said
of
it
Arsenal
was
fans after. I'm telling you, when that full-time whistle went, we'd obviously just beaten Everton. We didn't just beat Everton. We had a moment. Like, it was like a real moment where you're like, oh my, like that's one of those league-winning moments. Like, we
Felt
didn't just,
like it was
we didn't
done,
just
but
brush
it
them
wasn't.
2-0. We scored a corner in the 20th minute, and then 52nd minute, Gyökeres went through on goal and scored a second. Like, we had one of those where we really dug deep. Our moment came late in the game, and you know what I'm saying, it's one of those kind of games you look back on in 5-10 years time where you go, oh my God, a 16-year-old came on and changed the game in our lead up to winning the Premier League. And the feeling after when Man City dropped points in that game against West Ham in the pub was just like, it's not done, but it's like, wow, we'd have to pull off something unthinkable here to fuck this up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're the feeling amongst fans now is that the Premier League is almost ours, but obviously you can't. I mean, it's not our job, but the players really cannot take their foot off the gas because there are still 7 huge games to play against teams who are going to need wins as much as we do.
Definitely. Talk to me about the kind of the away. Obviously, you've been to every single game. Talk to me about the feeling within the fans, especially at the away games this season, because all the boring narratives, all the anti-football narratives,
one cares.
the set-piece narratives.
No one cares.
How has that been being in that that group of fans, a small group of fans at a lot of grounds this season?
It's just like when we don't win, it's not ideal. I mean, I think Wolves was the worst. I think the worst I've ever seen. I've never seen such a. The second again, ole ole chants, a bit of like it's one for you and your mates, and it gets going. Like when we were at Wolves and they'd scored that 90th minute equaliser, and you had that entire big stand they've got behind the goal, all just belting second. And it's like, oh my God, this is like the worst. Like this is actually up there. And games like that.
You were at that one as well.
Games like that were make it. You know what I'm saying? That's where you question the boring football. But at the end of the day, like, I don't need us to be entertaining. We played entertaining in 22-23, didn't win the league. Played extremely entertaining football in 23-24, didn't win the league. Last year was obviously a write-off due to the injuries. I think the idea that we bottled it last season was stupid in itself. We were never in it in last season. We did well to come second. But I think this season, it's just a case of, for me specifically, actually, it's a case of, you know what, Arteta, I think if you don't win anything this year, you know where this is going. So I'm just going to leave you to it. Yeah. I'm just going to leave you to it. The football. You know what I'm saying? I've definitely watched better football, but I couldn't care as long as we're winning the games, and we are. So it's genuinely just a case of you do your thing, and then we'll talk in May, or we'll be celebrating in May. It's just one of those. I don't think anyone really gives a toss how we win. I think there's Arsenal fans who've been going. If you ask, I'm 21. If you ask Arsenal fans who are in their 60s, 70 years old, who were there in the days when George Graham was in charge, they'll tell you how boring the football was back then as well. And they weren't fussed. They saw league titles. So who am I to judge the football? I've never seen Arsenal win a league title. So what better football do I know?
Yeah, they had that tag, didn't they? Boring Arsenal.
Boring Arsenal. 1-0 Arsenal.
Yeah. If you speak to all of, maybe not us, but like my dad and kind of your dad and Laurie and
so they've been about and they think that way.
They enjoyed it. They loved it.
I'm the same. So like
they absolutely loved it. Going week in, week out, seeing Arsenal winning.
I just look at it like this, right? If you look back at teams that have won the league, let's go look at that Chelsea team that won the league. They were probably at the time. Now they got that tag of you are boring.
Yeah.
They used to win games 1-0 and
It's where Park the Bus was born.
Exactly, Park the Bus. Terms like that, Jose Mourinho's snooze ball, do you know what I mean? All those things like. But who cares because they won the league? Mm-hmm. How many times did Fergie win the league? He didn't even get, 80 points or something like that, but they won the league.
Yeah.
Man United is one of their best moments. They scored a corner in a Champions League final and they won it.
Two.
Like, exactly. Who actually cares? I look at games and I'm just like, it's not Arsenal's job to entertain you. Go watch the other 19 teams because you know what? I'm watching Liverpool and they're flipping boring, but they're losing every week.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? They just went and got battered by Brighton. We went away to Brighton. We were boring, but at least we came out with a 1-0
This is my point. It's the whole league, fam.
Exactly.
Like everyone's pointing at us just because we're at the top of a
Go and ask Spurs
pile of
to be entertaining. Go and if you want to
they
watch.
are for us.
Yeah, if you
They're
want to be
entertaining. They're entertaining for rivals.
Go and watch Chelsea, who are entertaining, but where they are, they're bottling the top five. What about
slammed
Aston
by
Villa?
Everton?
Exactly,
No,
bottling the top five.
Our game against Everton,
watch them.
genuinely one of the most boring games I've ever seen. When we beat Everton 1-0 for a Gyökeres penalty,
Loved it.
It was absolutely. But yeah, when I walked out of that ground, freezing
3
cold, couldn't
points.
feel my fingers. I couldn't care. We'd won the game. But like at the end of the day, another thing that was also worth adding is that I know this point gets dragged up a lot, but it's completely valid. At the end of the day, you can only play what's in front of you.
Exactly.
And if teams are going to set up the way they are in front of us, I mean, if you look at our games, we're always the team that's on top. Exactly. We're always the better team. If you're going to set up with 8 players behind the ball, how are we supposed to? You know what I'm saying?
We see that in the Champions League when teams actually play against us. You go, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, we're pretty good. We've won every single game other than Leverkusen. But I think if Eze had it his way, he'd happily pick up the ball in the edge area, pull off rainbow flicks, and try long shots. But I think Arteta's coaching in a way where the reason we're so strong defensively is because we have teams at arm's length where they can't touch us. And by playing the way that we do in the opposition half, is not just in our half defensively and how good we set up. It's about not losing the ball in that half, which we don't. We really don't. You know what I'm saying? Lose a lot of the ball in the opposition's half. We're very safe with how we attack. And then that's why we are the way we are. But if you're going to set up that way against us, what do you expect?
Definitely. All right, we're going to do something now. We've all got a couple of Arsenal players that we've chosen beforehand. First of all, we're going to do our player of the season so far / our most important player so far. So Kenya, we're going to start with you. Who's been your Arsenal player of the season?
You've actually got my one.
I think we've got the same one.
Got the same one.
Go on, I'll let you present it.
You got the card.
Have you not got the card?
Yeah.
Sorry. Here you go.
I've got an honourable mention.
Go on.
But this guy, Gabriel Magalhaes, is the best centre back in the world. And I've been singing this guy's praises since 22-23. He came, when he joined us, he's a bozo, he gets red cards. He wins us games by defending and by scoring. And I cannot name you another centre-back in the world that does what this guy does. Simple as that. He's massive. He's so important. And I think this season, one thing I love about him, he's just stepped up in terms of leadership, the way that he can just controls. I just feel so safe with him. Lambo at him.
And we miss him
Rolls
so
Royce.
much. You think of the
He's brilliant.
the Aston Villa game, obviously him
Yeah.
and Saliba were missing. The Chelsea game when they went down to 10 men, he was missing.
That's where the defensive record got lost, by the way.
Yeah.
We were so on to do that Chelsea
Exactly.
record, and then that threw everything off.
The guys-
That one game against Chelsea where neither of them were available, and the Villa it completely threw us off guard. And I do genuinely believe it was on.
He's fantastic.
And even in the final the other day, like him and Saliba were our
It was-
standout players.
Yeah, he was.
Yep.
By far. They scored 2 goals, but it was nothing to do
Yeah.
with them. They were our best players. I thought him and Saliba. I thought Rice could hold his head high. But yeah, who was your honourable mention as
My
well?
honourable mention is another centre back.
There was the other one.
My favourite player, William Saliba. I think he's actually gone under the radar. I think what this guy does, his ball control is excellent. I think we saw that in the Carabao Cup final. Just his level of intelligence for such a young centre-back is just brilliant. And I think he's actually gone under the radar because Gabriel has been just so outstanding. We're just used to praising him. Do you know what I mean? We're used to saying he's
They're doing
brilliant.
it to each other.
Yeah, and
because
it's-
you're getting a 2 seasons
they're
ago. It's
kinda-
like, yeah, Saliba, the better.
Yeah, he's much better than Gabriel.
And then the swap over. Oh, you're forgetting about Gabriel.
Yeah.
Don't forget about
And
Gabriel.
This guy, I just think he's absolutely brilliant, man. And I think these two, it's like a marriage. They're a perfect couple.
Yeah,
you
they
can't
are.
have one without the other.
Yep.
And to me, I think William Saliba is an honourable mention for that player of the year. He just goes so under the radar.
Completely agree.
Simple.
I wish these two could be the Arsenal centre-back partnership
Forever. Yeah, genuinely.
forever. It's
Whatever
sad
it
that there's,
takes.
there's
Actually-
going to be one day where
They're not playing for Arsenal.
Yeah, they're not
I
playing for
got
Arsenal,
back from
they're gonna
Atletico
retire.
at home when Gabriel scored that goal, and I remember sitting on my sofa and just going to myself like,
He has to be here forever.
it's actually going to be a day when like Gabriel
leaves.
plays his last game for Arsenal.
What's Gabriel, 27? Saliba's
Yeah.
24.
He's 25.
So
6 more
25.
years.
Yeah, he's 25.
6 more years.
6
We can
more.
do it.
Hopefully, we've got 6 more years.
must.
of both.
We must.
And hopefully,
They're
there's
aging
3.
like
I need that.
fine
I need that
Trophies
John
in that
Terry
man.
settings going into the
They're
30s.
aging
deep.
like fine wine, man. I need that
are.
old age. I need you to be here till
They're not going any. If we stop winning things, they're not going anywhere anyway. That's all we need
Yeah.
to worry about, and they're going to be a crucial part. And I really did feel bad for the two of them after Sunday because
Yeah, so did I.
they stepped up, they
Oh,
did their job,
they
and
deserve
they
trophies more
really
than
do
anyone else,
deserve,
really.
really do deserve trophies at this point. But
Josh, let's come to you. Player of the season so far.
My player of the season is not this guy. I'm going with, I want to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
David Raya. Yeah. Now, this guy, put that guy down. David Raya, yeah. Right. When he first came in, because I was Team Ramsdale, I was like, why are we
Yeah.
spending this
I
much
loved
on the
Ramsdale.
keeper? Yeah. I was like, why are we spending this much on the keeper? I don't know if it's because I got the ADHD brain too, fam. Like, the same pigeon that Ramsdale was looking at, I was looking at it as well when the goal went in. I was like, yeah. But at first, I was like, oh, you done Rambo dirty.
Yeah.
What can he do that Rambo can't do or whatever? And in the first season,
turns out there's a lot that you
yeah.
can do. I can't do.
in the first season, I was like, in the second season, I went, this guy. And in this season, I was getting a little bit scared because when he was growing out the long hair, I was like,
Yeah, he's
long
got
hair
that
Raya, I
plastic.
don't. Ooh. And then I can't remember what. I think he had him and the Gabriel clash, and then after that,
He locked in.
He super locked in,
Yeah.
and I was like. When I think back to all the saves that this guy's made this season, some elite saves.
Yeah.
Elite. I remember that one against Brighton.
Brighton at home.
Oh.
How he even did that.
Do you know what I'm saying?
That Aston Villa one on the line.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And this is
Even
the
against
thing.
Leverkusen just now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last
Yeah,
minute,
exactly.
2-0 up.
Absolutely. And I think, especially now, even though I was saying Kepa in for the final or whatever, this just goes to show how important he is to the team. And just in general, because of all the positions that you play, the goalkeeper's the one that you don't change. This is the one that you go, we're playing from the back. This is the guy that distributes. This is the guy that saves. This is the guy that when we're on a counter-attack or whatever and he comes in and claims the cross and needs to deliver it out quickly, this is a core part of our team. And I feel like this season he's been amazing. So
I
I'm
think-
putting him for my player of the season.
I think there's
so
a
far.
strong
I mean,
argument.
Thierry Henry said the other day that why is David Raya not being considered for PFA Player of the Year? And I actually think he's got a very
does.
fair shout.
I think there's a strong argument that he's arguably our most important player, and we saw that against City.
Yeah.
You could take out a Saliba and put in a
Certainly
Mosquera, and we're still feeling
Yeah.
all right. You could
Yeah.
take out Gabriel, maybe put a Calafiori or
Yeah,
Hincapié
Hincapié,
centre back.
we'd be all right,
Alongside Saliba, you're feeling all right. You
Yeah.
could probably take out a Timber, put in a White or a
You can make
Mosquera
your
there.
tinkers here and
Even
there.
even Rice. Rice didn't play against Villa when we beat
Yeah,
him
that's
4-1
true.
at home, and I think Marino was still fit, came into the midfield. You could tinker around. If Kepa was injured from now till the end of the season, all the chest I have about the Premier League, I think I would start to lose. I would think.
Kepa? Right.
Sorry, did I say
Yeah,
Kepa?
you said Kepa.
Sorry,
Kepa on the mind, bro.
yeah, Kepa. Sorry, if Raya was injured from now till the end of the season, the confidence I have about being 9 points clear and we're not
Yeah.
going to bottle that, I think would start to fade because he is so important. Like you say, the way he keeps us in games at times, even when we are under pressure.
Leading
Big
the clean
saves late on,
sheets.
where it could be a nervy last 5 minutes if he
Yeah.
doesn't pull off a brilliant save. So, yeah, was it 14 clean sheets in the Premier
15.
League? 15 now?
Yeah.
He's wrapped up the Golden Glove already. So, yeah,
Repeat, mate.
top keeper. Dylan, player of the season so far.
I mean, yeah, none of you have mentioned the obvious. Declan Rice.
Yeah.
It's just goes without saying, doesn't it? I think he's been overdue an Arsenal Player of the Season award. Who won it last year?
He did get it last season.
He did get it last season. Okay, but brilliant. So he's at least he's got his flowers already. But yeah, no, he believe it or not, he has got a lot more to his game than 2 free kicks. He's been brilliant this season, popping up with goals. The set pieces he's so crucial to, which is how we win a lot of our games, believe it or not, in case you haven't heard. Yeah, he's just an absolute workhorse as well defensively. You saw in the final the other day, him tracking back a lot. I can't find a flaw in his game, to be honest. He's another one of those players I just wish would play for Arsenal forever. But
He is one of the best in the world. Talk to me about, do you think he genuinely has a chance of winning a Ballon d'Or? And what does he have to win? If Arsenal were to win...
he has to win with England as well to win a Ballon d'Or.
Well,
So he has to win the World
100%.
Cup.
He has to win the World Cup to get a Ballon d'Or.
If Arsenal were to do a treble,
Yeah.
but England didn't win the World Cup.
Still got to win the World Cup, I think.
Really?
Bruv,
Yeah,
Haaland won a treble.
I think as a centre midfielder, you have to win the World Cup as well.
Rodri won it.
No, but I think it
he won the
depends on what
Euros,
his
but
contribution is.
He was injured in the final.
Yeah.
I think it depends on what his contribution is. If you go into that and you go, he's putting assists through the whole thing, or he's scoring goals, and then you went, whoa, that goal was a world. You can't deny him, regardless. And then if he performs well and doesn't win the World Cup, but he still puts in the performances,
There's also-
I don't think you could argue it.
Besides trophies, there's also, I feel like last year he had the Real Madrid moment. He had a moment at Old Trafford with a banger. He's previously scored wonder goals at Stamford Bridge. He's been known to score goals. He's scored brilliant goals for Arsenal, plenty of them. A few less goals, just goals this season, just a few less. But yeah, no, I think he could do if he provided a moment as well, maybe a goal. I thought when I was looking at the Carabao final the other day, when I saw Eze was out, I was looking, who's going to give me that moment today? I was thinking, is it going to be Rice popping up with one on the edge? Is it going to be, who's it going to be? I thought Rice was one of my top people you bank on to you know what I'm saying, give you one of those moments. I think if we get to an FA Cup final or even in a quarter-final against Sporting or maybe against Barcelona, I can see Rice being the man that comes up with the moment there. And these are the kind of things that will push him for the Ballon d'Or as well, besides just being one of the working cogs in a great team. If he can provide his own, you know what I'm saying, his own moments, I think that will massively help his case as well for a Ballon d'Or.
Completely agree. I think he's going to be up there, but I think, it depends on what Arsenal win, if England can do it as well. And I think the moments are very important. If we get to a Champions League final and he scores the winner and we win a double or treble and England win, he's up there. I think he's definitely in contention. Let's do the opposite. And this isn't going to be, a big hate sesh. We're not doing worst player of the season. We're going to do who needs to step up between now till the end of the season if Arsenal are going to finish the season strongly. Josh, we'll come to you first because you've already shown the other card that you've got. Okay, the choice between two.
I mean,
who needs to step up for us to have a strong end to the season? Gone for two.
yeah, but
Go for this.
You could do both.
Go for this.
Bukayo,
Love
my
you, bro.
guy.
Face of the club, love you. But
Yeah, the face is down right now. Yeah, because you have not stepped up to the plate. And me, I've been saying this, and a lot of fans, they're going, don't come with Bukayo Saka hate and do that. It's not hate, yeah. My eyes are not broken. I see what this guy does or doesn't do, yeah. And I've been saying this for maybe a year, more than a year. Last season and a lot of this season, and tell me if you disagree, there's been performances where you go, 6, 7, but he always gets a goal or an assist. So when he doesn't get a goal or assist, what is he doing?
that's fair.
Yeah, and that's been my problem with Bukayo Saka. Like I sat and watched that interview that he done with Paul Merson this week and thought, right, you're gonna come with it this final or whatever. I always thought maybe there's an excuse. Maybe it's because now he doesn't have Ben. He's not got that Ben White Odegaard, triangle doing the overlaps and the underlaps. I was like, that worked 2 seasons ago. That was chef's kiss. Maybe it's Timber doesn't, and I understand. This guy has played, with the exception of one game last season, I think, where he didn't start. He's started every game for us since he's been here, basically. And he's played all the England tournaments in between. And he's had the injury, the same injury that Havertz had that kept him out for 1 billion years. yeah, and this guy came back in like, what, 6 weeks? Do you know what I'm saying? And then was playing straight away. Like, for me, I call this season a write-off for him because I'm going, I don't see, especially after that final, I don't see you coming back and just doing a madness, yeah? Unless, because where they're going, Bahrain, Qatar, wherever.
They must.
Yeah, Salt Bay settings. That's what happened last time. I've been calling for Salt Bay for like 2-3 years now, yeah? Go back there. Go eat the steak because you have not been delivering. You've not been delivering for me.
And I know what you mean about the thing where, you know, in games where he's not providing a goal or assist, I can't agree with the idea that he's not playing well, though, outside of the goals and assists. I think one of the main things about Saka for me has always been that he's not obviously a pace-reliant player, and he's also not an output-reliant player. I think he's very intelligent. He's
consistent,
smart with how he uses his body, and he's very effective in his own way. He's not a Doku. I mean, Doku you've got who runs at people all the time and doesn't get a great deal of goals or assists. I think Saka's very efficient. He very rarely misplaces a pass. He's very crucial. In an Arteta system where he doesn't want us to lose the ball in the opponent's half ever, yes, it's very safe. But as for a winger who would have grown up taking people on, beating his man, scoring goals, I think for a winger to play in an Arteta system where he doesn't want to lose the ball at all definitely limits what a winger can do with the ball. So I think for Saka, that definitely hinders his game. I think it 100% hinders his game, and it leaves you in a position where we're asking for more goals and assists. But I don't think you can ever doubt his quality outside of the goals and assists because he is so intelligent on the ball, and we've seen it for years.
I need to see more. I need to see more.
And I agree. I do want to see more goals and assists.
It's been a steady decline. If you look at, and I don't want to be the guy that's look at the stats. Yeah, his goals and assists have been decreasing season after season for the last 3 seasons. Then on top of that, and I'm talking about now in this last few games period, how many times have you heard that was Saka's worst game in an Arsenal shirt?
But what I was going to say is what I was going to say. What I would say is that he's obviously always been that player. He's always like I said, what I described. He's always been a player that whether he's scoring or assisting, he has an impact on the game. My problem lately, and in the final in particular, is that he was very anonymous in the final. I don't remember. I remember Madueke coming on and thinking, who's he going to come? Oh, Saka's still on the pitch. Like, you know, I don't remember, other than the shot on target from a rebound in the first half, I don't remember him.
He didn't do anything. I'll tell you,
enough. Yeah.
All he done was in the second goal was ball watching. Didn't notice that O'Reilly was coming up behind him, cut in front of him, and then head in hand.
And that's just from a defensive standpoint.
And that's from a defense. But you need to be doing both. Everyone knows in the Arteta team, you're meant to be defending, you're meant to be defending, you're meant to be attacking. Yeah, and the other thing I get confused by, I'm going, well, is it Arteta? Is he micromanaging him and telling him, don't do this, don't do that, etc., etc.? But then I look at players like, I always would say last season, I was like, Nwaneri's our most direct player. I need you to take on the man, because Saka hasn't been doing that for whatever reason. He just stopped doing it.
But what happened to Nwaneri though? I mean, Nwaneri was taking on his man. He was trying all of that stuff, and then he was finding himself losing the ball a lot. Nwaneri for me is a player. He's very. As a winger, it's often good to be selfish, but I think Nwaneri often is a little bit too selfish, and I think that's where Saka's got the perfect balance. He's obviously intelligent enough to beat his man a lot, but he also never loses the ball in the opposition half, and that's why I just think it would be so stupid as Arsenal fans ourselves to fall into this narrative that other fans of other clubs create, that he's not this guy, he's no good, he's XYZ. Because the thing with Saka, which I find so funny, is that people run their mouth about him all season, all the time, 24/7. And then whenever he plays for England in a system that isn't Arteta's system, he's always one of England's best players every single time he plays.
He is.
Without fail. Every tournament. He was brilliant in 2021 at the Euros. He was brilliant at the World Cup in 2022. The Euros in 2024, he popped up with that insane moment against Switzerland to keep us in the tournament, and he was good outside of that as well. I think the thing for me is whenever I see him play for England, I'm reminded quickly, this is a world-class footballer, borderline world-class footballer. I just think in an Arteta system, we don't get world-class output out of him because of the way things are set up and the way he's coached to play. But with all of that being said, there are times as well this season where I will keep the doubts, because I mean, there's moments like Inter Milan away where he's got that touch, he's in front of goal, go on, hit it. No, you've hesitated, you haven't scored. There was moments against Brighton in that first half when we played them at the Emirates. That was a game that I singled out. There's a few games that people single out with Saka, but that Brighton one was one as well. The ball came out to him on the right hand side about 3 times in that first half where he was wide open, fullbacks miles away from him. Take that touch, direct, bang. Didn't wait to the defender, XYZ, but no.
And that's mainly my thing. It's not.
I think it's an Arteta
case
thing.
of Bukayo Saka hate or anything like that. But and this is why I go, is it an Arteta thing? But then I'm looking at previous seasons, I'm going, well, you was playing with Arteta then.
But Arteta was playing much more exciting football then.
How
Yeah,
many times have we
my-
said the football in 22-23 was a lot more expansive, open, free-flowing? Same in 23, and it's slowly become more pragmatic
And his
about
numbers have
finer
got worse.
margins. But I will say, and I think you just made a good point, there have been moments where he has cut in on his left foot and he's not getting the shot
That's
off as quick. He's taken
predictability.
even in the final on
Predictability.
Sunday. There was a time when he cut in the first 20 minutes. He cut on his left foot. And I was like, get the shot off. An extra touch. Do you know what I mean? Over and over, and then
Bruv, he was
shut
ending
down.
up all the way on the other side of
So
the pitch.
I do think both arguments work. I do think the injuries have, as sad as it is, hindered his game. Not that he can't get back to his level, but it will take time. And you know what as well? The fact that you've picked Saka as one of the most underwhelming players and he needs to improve. If Saka wasn't at his best 5 years ago, Arsenal probably would have finished 10th.
Yeah.
In 22-23 when we finished second, if you take Saka out of that
Yeah.
team that season,
But guess what?
we probably
Guess
would
what?
have finished
Guess
second.
what? We're
I
not
think-
talking about then. I'm talking about this season.
No,
and those
I get it,
seasons,
I get it. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying for the team and the squad now, for a player like Saka who's put the team on his back for a lot of those years,
That's
to
right.
have him not at his best and still be in the position we're in, 9 points clear of the Premier League and
100%.
whatever, shows where we've come, how far we've come as a squad. And if he can get back to even 80, 90%
100%.
of the player that we know he is, we'll finish the season
That's the
strong.
biggest thing, because every time a game starts, I'm there thinking, right, this is the game where I'm going to get my Bukayo back. But it's not there.
But
Do you see what I'm saying?
even with that,
But
he scored against. He came back. He scored against Wolves. Scored a header against Wolves. Scored the
Yeah,
winner. I know
yeah.
it was deflected.
I
Scored the
thought
winner
against
against.
Yeah, but
Everton,
it's
it
still
was really
it's still not it's not the levels, bro. This is a
It
guy.
isn't, it
This is a guy
isn't.
that
I
you
agree.
lot, Cecil was on whatever channel saying this guy's world class. Is he world class? He's not world class.
But when he plays,
He's not
for
world class.
But when he
The
plays
football
for
at the moment
England,
isn't
Do you know
world
what I-
class, but
do
as
you
a
know what I
player
would-
overall,
do you know what I
think
would say in terms of Saka? I think, in my personal opinion, he's a world-class player having a bad season. And the reality is, you look at so many other players similar to Saka. You look at Phil Foden, you look at Cole Palmer.
Also not world-class.
Players who
Yeah,
before
Cole
maybe
Palmer.
would have been classed as world-class are having very poor seasons.
Yeah.
And I just think...
Generations bars
I
drop,
look at
bro.
him and I'm just like, Saka having a poor season and our attack also being very poor is actually one of our biggest issues, in the sense that we've relied on just one individual for so long to create all of our chances, to create every single moment in the box. So the moment that Saka has a poor season, everybody else in that front line just falters, and that's the issue where we need to look and be like, right, we've over-relied on this guy for 6 years. He's only 25, 24, 25. Like, I understand he's had a really poor season, and I'm not saying that he's devoid of criticism at all. I actually think what Josh has said is very fair.
Yeah, I do.
But I also just look at it and I'm just like, this guy for so long, he's almost carrying the burden of everyone else. And I look at everyone else, I'm just like, can't you do more? Like, everything comes down the right-hand side. Even in his worst games, everything comes down that side. If Saka's not doing it, I can't
But
rely
I think
on
that's
anybody else.
what it has. That's what it's been this
that's what
season,
makes
though.
it work.
That's why this season's worked, because we saw at the beginning of the season on the left hand side, Trossard was
Trossard
doing
was
doing the
brilliant.
business.
Yeah.
When Madueke was coming in, granted, I don't think he's a £60 million player or whatever, but for the wages that he's on pittance compared to everyone else. I go, oh, it's not that bad. But this guy, how many times has someone said when Madueke came on, I felt he was a threat. He's beating a man. He's getting the ball in the
Yeah.
box. His final
But if we're talking
pass
about-
or whatever might not. Yeah, but I'm
We're
just talking about.
GA,
I'm not
and
talking about.
I
I'm not
agree
talking
with
about
what-
just GA. I'm talking
and I
about
agree with what you're
us
saying.
feeling that we have an attacking threat.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
No, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, right? But one of my biggest criticisms of a player like a Madueke, like a Doku, is, cool, you did the step over, but what did it end up with?
Fizzy pop.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fizzy pop. Whereas one thing I know about Saka, maybe he didn't maybe beat his man that one time, but that guy's so intelligent. He's putting in a cross at the back post. There's games where I'm like, this was a great performance, but you left with something. You create so many chances. And I look at someone like a Madueke who I actually like, and I'm like, you're nowhere near even a bad Saka.
Yeah,
Let's
but
be real.
this is why, because
Yeah.
Saka is my bar for Saka is
It's
up
so
here,
high.
and I'm waiting for him to get back to that bar. Yeah, and I understand all the things that he's gone through in terms of playtime, injuries, fatigue, and all that stuff. Other people not performing and stuff like that, having to carry the whole team. That's why I write the season off. I go, fair enough. If we win, and this was his poor season, I can't wait to see him next season.
Yeah,
So when you say your bar was here, was that bar world class? Did you have him?
No.
When he was at his
I
best?
never called him world class.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't know what it is. I think people like to throw around the world class thing.
Depends on your definition of
too
world class.
easy. Because if you can't argue between Phil Foden, Cole Palmer, and Bukayo Saka, then that mean, and you're calling one of them world class, that means they're all world class, and then none of them are world class to me.
Fair enough. All right, well, let's move on from Saka. I'll do mine. And I think this guy had a brilliant start to the season, Martin Zubimendi. I was calling him the signing of the summer. I still think he's definitely up there. I think he's a brilliant footballer. I do think teams have worked out how to stop him from playing. And I think, like we spoke about, I think what City did on Sunday was exactly that. You're stopping the ball going through the middle. You're stopping him getting on the ball. He's not the most physical. If you get 2 players on him, you can stop him from playing, basically. But I need Arteta to figure out a way to get him in the game more, because if there's one midfielder who's getting on the ball majority of games for Arsenal, it's Declan Rice, and then we're moving it into Eze and in the 10. Zubimendi isn't touching the ball enough for me in games now, whether that's getting him further forward and having just a single 6, whether that's keeping him as a single 6, stopping the double pivot with him and Rice, and bringing, playing an 8 and a 10 rather than him and Rice. I don't know what it is, but we need to figure out a way to get him back to his best. I don't think it's even his form, but I do think there have been games where he doesn't touch the ball for maybe the first 15, 20 minutes, and then he'll get it and he'll give it away. I think his first touch against City on Sunday, he passed the ball out of play.
How many times has he done the one where he's done the turnaround and done the pass back to Raya, or made the missed pass and then Raya's 10 miles off the line, chipped? Yeah, that happened like 2 or 3 times this season.
Yeah, but what I do know, this guy's a brilliant player, and when I've seen Arsenal at our best this season, he's been at his best. Has, in terms of attacking contribution as well, chipped in with goals. You've seen him score a couple of headers as well. Brilliant. Who was that goal against? Where outside
Forest.
the box? Forest scored 2 in that game.
Yeah, the header and the brilliant
volley from outside the box. So we know he can do it. We know he's a top quality player, and we need him at his best. And like I say, whether that's a system thing and him getting into the game more, or just his individual form, I think we need to see him back to his best. You disagree with this one?
Yeah, I do. Sorry. I just think, he needs to improve. I'm not disagreeing with how he's played in the last couple of games, but to be the one that needs to improve the most, or one of the most, I completely disagree. We're talking about someone that's played every single minute in the Premier League, first season in the Prem, highest ever goal scoring GA season in his career. He's come in. I think he's been absolutely brilliant. And I actually feel sorry for him most times, because I'm like, this guy's getting worked like a horse. He's in every single game. He doesn't get rested. Like, when's he going to get given a break? And I just look at it like, he's been underwhelming in the last couple of games, but you can see him, he's literally on fumes. And I look at the manager like, go and trust Norgard, who, in my opinion,
hasn't put a foot wrong.
He's not put a foot wrong. When he's come in, he's been fantastic. He's played centre-back as well. He's been brilliant. He's an experienced senior player, international for Denmark. Put him in, give Zubimendi a rest. I think it's more of Zubi's playing on fumes. He's absolutely knackered. And I look at the big moments, this Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. Do you know what I mean? Aston Villa, Forest, Leeds. Who else am I forgetting? So many big moments. This guy's such a brilliant player. For me, he's not one of the... I wouldn't even put him in my top 5 for the most that needs to improve the most.
Well, I think we almost disagreed but agreed in the same way, because he has... His performances have dropped off, but maybe that's not his fault. Maybe he does need to be rested.
He does need to improve, but to me, there's probably about 5 or 6 players more that need to improve.
But I think the reason I'm saying it though, just is because I think our best football has been played when Zubimendi has been at his best.
Yeah.
So if we can find a way to get him back to his best, I think we'll win the league. I think we'll win other trophies. I think he's that important of a player for us.
I'm interested to see
what does need a rest.
I'm interested to see what's going to happen on this international.
I don't want to see him play a minute.
Because, he might. But even when he plays for Spain, he doesn't play the... Because you can see, when some of these players go out on international duty, you can see the difference in how they play for their international teams to how they play for Arsenal.
Yeah.
And I think Zubimendi is a prime example of that. So whether he plays or not, or whatever... But I'm just interested to see, hold on, wait a minute, you're playing for Spain and then suddenly you're unlocked and then you're going to come back to Arsenal and... what's going on?
Dylan, what are your thoughts on Zubimendi?
Just want to be careful what I say.
You bloody better be, mate.
Say it.
You bloody better.
Zubimendi is like, when the team's playing well, I don't think it's because of him. I think there are players in that team who are the catalyst when we're at our best for the reason Arsenal are playing well, maybe, and that could be whether it used to be Zinchenko inverting, or it's Declan Rice, or it's Saka making things happen, or the number 10 in position. I just think with Zubimendi, for me, he just a lot of the time it's just a bit of a passenger in the Arsenal team. He's just kind of in there. I think if he had a Finland flag next to his name on FIFA and was 77 rated, no one would really bat an eyelid. I don't know.
That's so interesting,
bro. I need to take you Specsavers, man, because I look at this guy. I think he's so brilliant. The through balls that he plays sometimes, I'm like, There's players that we've had
There's
before.
time, yeah. There's
Do you
days
know
where
what
I
it is
think
with
he's amazing,
Zubimendi
but
as
there's days where I watch, I don't know,
Nah,
anyone, and I think they're amazing.
This is recency bias.
Is that the position though? Because sixes.
It definitely is the position.
Over the years, you think of Gilberto Silva in the Arsenal team in the Invincibles era. People said, "What does he do? He goes missing."
No,
But
no,
you hear
for a
all
long
the-
time,
no,
wouldn't
no,
get
no,
flowers.
no,
that
because-
position
no,
can often go under the radar.
No, because now he's in the past. Now it is what it is. But when I was watching Partey in that position, it was another level, and it was like every game, wow, what a much insane. But like, and Zubimendi, it just hasn't reached anywhere near that level for me. I think he can hopefully get to that level. I think from a technical standpoint, he can hopefully reach that level, and I'm hoping he fills that gap. But for me, so far, it hasn't been a like for like or an.
So what does
upgrade
the
people
six
have made
need
out
to do for you to get to that level?
I think physically dominate more. I think just. I don't know. I really can't put a finger on it. I just think in games, a lot of the time, he's just there. And that's the only way I can put it.
I actually agree with you a bit. I think one of the things that we've been missing in that midfield is since Partey went, that you said about the strong physical presence, I feel like that's been a miss.
I feel like he was just everywhere.
Yeah, he was
such a
I feel like Partey's a bit of an anomaly though, because he does, with his physical stature, he did stand out a bit more.
Yeah,
whereas
no,
Zubimendi doesn't have that.
But he still gets stuck in. He definitely still gets stuck in, and I completely agree with that as well. I just think, I mean, even when you look at a Patrick Vieira, or you look at people of that stature, and it's like, oh my god, like there's even Rodri, big guy in that middle of the park. I think with Zubimendi, look, maybe that makes him easier to go under the radar. Maybe I'm just like completely waffling, but I just think at times, I just don't notice him. Too many games, I just don't even notice he's played. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. And I wouldn't say he's the player that I'd most need to see step it up.
There's many others.
Well, let's talk about yours.
Yeah, I haven't got.
Declan Rice.
I'd probably say maybe. Man, I do miss Marino, man. That's just a side thought, but I do miss Marino. That's just a side thought, but it just came to mind. But I probably would say Saka, just from a goals and assists standpoint. Maybe Trossard, you know. Maybe Trossard. No, maybe Trossard.
I ain't got Trossard.
Maybe Trossard,
Yeah,
because I think
Trossard makes
Saka
sense.
creates a lot of chances even when he's not
right.
getting the
Yeah.
GA, and
You're right.
he does whip in a lot of dangerous crosses, and he's always a danger anyway because people are aware of how good he is. I just think the first half of the season Trossard that we saw, which we weren't even expecting in the first place, to be honest. I think none of us were expecting Trossard to be as good as he was in the first half of the season.
We were saying sell him.
And I just think, I think I've noticed in the last few games, I think someone mentioned it earlier, he has in the last month
2 months.
or two.
Since
Yeah,
Since
not
December,
really,
bro, he's been
Yeah.
gone.
not really been about. But
We're in March. We're going into April. What the hell?
I think
That's
23-24, when we were in that run-in for the Premier League, I remember Trossard just like literally scoring like almost every game.
Yeah, he was
like
brilliant.
he was crucial to that run, and obviously we didn't manage to get it over the line by 1 or 2 points. But I think this time round, if Trossard could have a run-in like that, then I think we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Kenya?
Yeah, but he doesn't even play. He doesn't even like. Where is he? Like, what is he even injured for right now?
Let her explain.
No, please.
Come on.
First of all, can you actually explain what he's injured for? I actually don't even know what his injury is right now. I don't know where he is. Like,
Don't know where he is. I just look at Martin Odegaard. I actually hate having to talk about him because I actually really like him.
Yep.
And I'm one of the very few people, when people talk about captaincies and stuff, I'm one of the very few people that fight in this corner. But I just think all season, I know injuries are injuries, but you're looking to your captain. And I'm just like, I'm looking at every game, like, where even is my captain? Don't know what's going on, don't know what. Every week he's not here, he's not available. When he does play, I'm just like, I look at him and I'm like, are we outgrowing you? Have we gone past this project now with you in it? And it's actually sad to say that because I just really like him. But I just think he's underperformed. He had that brilliant season in 22-23 and I'm just sat here like, we haven't got close since.
23-24, he was top as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
23-24,
23-24
He was,
as
he
well.
was, he
was
was
in the PFA team of the year
He was
2 years in a row.
unplayable. Like, we'll sat here saying this is one of the best midfielders in the world, and he's just not lived up to it. And I just think in this running, you really need that leadership in that team. You know, the reality is we're still quite a young team. We still have, you know, a lot of players that, you know, they've been in a title race, but don't really know what it's like to maybe get over the line or, you know, be in a team where the standards are supposed to be high. We're talking about someone who was a wonder kid at Real Madrid. And I've just been so underwhelmed. Like, there's been so many games I'm just like, I need you, captain.
Yeah.
Where's the through balls? I just think when I watch him play, he's so predictable.
Oh, let me
If I
stop. Let me run around in a circle for no reason.
As someone that played football, like, I look at it like, if I was a defender, I'd be happy to play against you because I already know what you're going to do. You're going to look to just pass to Saka and leave him out there with 3 defenders that you've dragged into his area. Like, I just think he really needs to evolve. And as well, you've got players now like an Eze, who's just joined the club, who plays in your position. You've got an Ethan Nwaneri who's going to have to come back from loan, who's going to fight for his place, plays a 10. You've got a Max Dowman, who's a 16-year-old kid. He's naturally a 10. So you've now got 3 players right behind you in your position. And if I'm being honest, there's probably like 3 players or 4 players in our team that I would see as untouchable, or maybe even 5 players on our team that I see untouchable. I don't see Martin Odegaard as untouchable anymore. He's someone that...
the captain.
Exactly, and he's the captain. Mm-hmm. And I just think, you look at... Dylan was talking about Patrick Vieira. There's not a moment where you'd be sat there saying, yeah, Patrick Vieira's getting moved on for somebody else, or, in that title-winning team, he's not important. And we're sat here almost forgetting about our captain. And I think that's really damning.
Definitely. I think obviously with Eze's injury now, we don't know what it is, how long it's going to be. It's not looking good.
Yeah.
So look, there's an opportunity for him to come back, find some of the form that we know he's a top player on his day.
I think
we haven't seen it for a long time. That is a frustrating thing.
I think that's what frustrates me the most is that I know you're brilliant. I've seen you do it. I've seen you do 15 goals, 14 non-penalty goals. I've seen you do all these brilliant assists. I've seen you be Arsenal Player of the Season. Yet it's like you don't want to show that.
Is it him though, or do you think the
don't want to take
injuries-
shots? You don't want to try and score. Like, you're not ambitious anymore. You don't want to take risks. Like, you're doing build-up play. I think even things like, Mikel Arteta turn around saying, "Yeah, I'm always having to tell Martin, why are you playing so deep?" Those are the issues that I just have, and it just frustrates me.
I think it's a good choice because if he can come back and get, like I said about Saka,
Need him
80 or
badly.
90% of his form, then
Please,
we're going to
brother.
have a strong end to the season. I think
Like, a lot of that, I felt what you said felt like what I felt about Saka. But I feel everything that you said about Martin Odegaard.
It's just because my expectation for a Saka and Odegaard is so high. I know what your level is. Go and prove people wrong. People are hating on you. People say
This
this,
is
that.
what it is.
Go and shut everyone up and show them what you actually are, which is a top talent. You were a wonder kid for a reason.
And I think Arteta tried, because when he came back from injury, it was like we were going, oh, is Eze going to play or is Odegaard going to be right back in the and he was right back in. But the performance, I think he had one game, I can't even remember which one it was, and I was like, oh, wait, hold on. That's what it was, the game before he got injured again. Yeah.
Newcastle,
Too
maybe.
many.
And I went, okay, I think it was Newcastle. And I went, right.
He came on news and saying against Newcastle, changed the game.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I went,
right,
right,
yeah.
this is the Odegaard, he's back. Let's go. If this is how you're going to play and fight back for your place, then he was injured again and then it was done. And then the problem that we had is that it caused a problem with Eze because it was giving him inconsistent time because we were trying to accommodate for Odegaard, which meant Eze couldn't get into his flow state, which now he has, and now he's injured. And
Feel it.
so that's been unfortunate, but I need to see Odegaard come back. Like,
see more
some kind of
captain.
way.
Right. Business end of the season now. Obviously, the trophy hunting has started. We fell at the first hurdle, but Premier League still up for grabs. FA Cup still up for grabs. Champions League still up for grabs. In terms of the style of play in the team, does Mikel need to change anything?
No.
Or do we just keep doing what we're doing, keep playing how we're playing?
Can't change what's got us here.
I think, in terms of the league, I personally wouldn't change anything. I think this is just the type end of the season where who cares how you win a game? You just have to win the game. But I think in the Champions League, one thing that I've noticed is that you look at the best teams, they've all got magic. You look at Bayern, you look at Barca, you look at Barca beating Newcastle, although it was 2-2 in that reverse leg at one point, they just turned on magic. And I look at our team like, the way we play maybe stops that magic from happening. So I think in the Champions League, I want to see a bit more fluidity. I want to see a bit more going forward.
We have seen that though. We saw it against Leverkusen with Eze's goal and Rice's goal.
I just think if you want to, go far in this competition and potentially play a Barcelona in a semi-final or play whoever in a final if you're to get there, magic is what wins you those things. And that's just my only thing.
Do you think we'll get away with playing the way we do against the Barcelona? Because it looks like it'd probably be them in the semi-final if we get past Sporting and they do their job. Do you think we'd get away with playing the way we do against the Barcelona?
They play a
We're probably the
ridiculously high line, don't they? So if
Yeah, they do.
That will work for us.
what we did against City, where they pushed us back, obviously, and we were just going long ball. If we can go long ball and try and get Saka in behind, a Gyökeres who loves to play in behind against teams with high lines, and Martinelli would probably be perfect to start that kind of game rather than Trossard. I think we just have to adapt.
Yeah.
You know, don't be stubborn. Adapt to who you're playing against.
Yeah,
sometimes.
true. But one thing I would say, just like looking at Barcelona, when they played Newcastle in the group stages, they went to St. James's Park and they actually kind of deaded that high line. They were like, right, we know that this high line's very risky. They actually played a bit more pragmatic and they left that game, I think, winning 2-0. Marcus Rashford comes on, scores 2 worldies.
Oh, the first game in the group.
And I just think, you know, you can't do what Arne Slot has basically been saying to everyone else, like, well, please, can you play this way against us so my football can work? The reality is other teams want to win as well and they're going to adapt their tactics. So we need to also tweak a few things. But in terms of the league, I'm okay with us being boring because boring is winning us games.
Yeah.
Boring is getting us very close to a title and I just want to win it.
I do wonder as well, if we do win the Premier League this year, what will the football look like next year? Will we take the handbrake off a little bit? Is it just about getting over the line?
I think it's more about getting over
we've
the
done
line.
it, the pressure's off a little bit. Now we can open up.
I think it's getting over the line. I think that's why sometimes as well in press conferences, Arteta's like, don't care. Do you know what I'm saying? He's like, look at where we are and look at where we're going. And I just need to get us over the line. I don't give a crap what you say about this is boring, this is this is that. And like I said, when you look at the league as a whole, yeah, it's not just an Arsenal thing. Yeah, and I think the point you made about the Champions League is perfect there because when we played Bayer Leverkusen away, I know everyone wanted us to win the game or whatever, but sometimes you just need to go there, get the point, and bring it back to your yard so you can settle it or whatever. But I do feel that type of play, if we're going to play against a Barcelona and stuff like that, it's like you said, they can pull out a moment of magic. And from our team, unlike that Eze goal the other day, I went, this is what I need. Champions League night. What do you mean you turning around and busting a volley like that? Bad boy things. Yeah.
First goal as well.
And then even Decker's with the next one, I went, this is what I need. And I haven't been seeing that this season. There's nothing. I feel like a Tottenham fan. Yeah, it's all hope. I'm hoping. Yeah, I'm hoping for something that's not going to come.
I didn't wake up this morning in 17th place.
Yeah, bro. Sometimes that's the way it feels like. Yeah, because I'm hope just the same way I'm hoping for Bukayo to just come back and be the magical Bukayo from 2 seasons ago. Same thing with Odegaard. I'm waiting for this moment to happen in the Champions League. And when I saw Eze score that goal, I went, "This is it, Champions League." I've been waiting the whole time to see that on the thing deliver in Europe. Yeah, so I can turn around and say, I know my team can take on anyone.
But we have in the whole Champions League, though.
Yeah,
I know. But
you think of Bayern, the 3-1, the
I hear it. But the further
a
you
lot
go,
of the goals and performances in the Champions League have been brilliant.
The further you go and the tighter it gets, you're getting closer and closer to that final. And when it starts to count even more, the deeper you get into the tournament. And I need to see the players turn up for those. All right, yeah, fair enough. In the group stages where we've seen bloody Real Madrid finish 6th, 7th, 8th last year or whatever like that, and then go all the way through. It doesn't matter about that in those stages. Because it doesn't matter as long as you get through. Yeah, but then it comes to European pedigree. Where's your European heritage? Are you showing it? Yeah. I hate when people always dog us on our European heritage, because despite the fact that we've got our Cup Winners' Cup, which everyone always says, it's a trophy. Yeah. I don't care. Yeah. Everyone always says about us not having European heritage. We've had amazing feats going to the San Siro, going to the Nou Camp, going to thing and win these places where no English team ever won before. But because we never won a trophy, we don't have European heritage. So now I just need I need the magic. Show these man that you can be European champions.
Yep, I think we all need that. And finally, final little question we'll put out there. What is the message to rival fans that still think that this Arsenal team is going to crumble?
Worry about your own team.
Oh, yes.
Because, no, like seriously, like genuinely, who are the rival fans in question here? Is it Chelsea who just getting battered every week? Is it Tottenham who are fighting relegation? Is it Man United who are playing one game a month? Who is it we're actually arguing with here? The only ones I really want to hear it from that I never do are Man City, and where are they right now? Liverpool. What's going on at Liverpool right now? You know what I mean? So
even after the final the other day, every other rival fan messaged me. I've messaged
genuinely
Tottenham fans, Chelsea, United.
Oh my
I didn't
God,
hear anything from any City fan.
Tottenham Sunday went like this. They woke up in the morning, the Tottenham fans, They woke up in the morning. I was getting the same train up to the game. I got the same tube. There were Tottenham fans on the tube as well. And they're out early. I was like, they're playing before us, aren't they? They were on bus stops 2 hours before kickoff. They're the first team I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'm probably the first person in my
parade.
bloodline to ever see a team pull off a relegation scratch parade.
Victory parade,
On the high road.
Irish.
They thought they'd pulled off something insane. It was going to motivate the players.
Flares and that
The players are on the coach with their headphones on, listening to Ghana. They're not even looking at you letting off flares on the road and jumping on bus stops. Anyway, lost 3-0. Yeah. After losing 3-0, they sat inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and looked at each other and went, yeah, this has been all right. Should we stay out at the pub all night to watch the Arsenal game later and celebrate that? They stayed out. When Arsenal lose, the first thing I want to do is go home and just be at home, sit on the sofa, maybe, you know what I'm saying, a little takeaway to cheer me up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They thought, no, you know what? We've just seen our team lose 3-0 at home in a relegation scrap and thought, yeah, you know what, lads? Yeah, pub, let's go and watch Arsenal and celebrate. It's like, their brains don't... I've never seen a team so deserved of relegation in my life. Like, it's just insane to me. But yeah, like I said, the thing for me with the rival fans is you just have to have a look at where they are, and if it's not better than us, like, hate has never come from above. That's the thing in life. Hate does not come from above. So for them to be where they are and talking to us, it's crazy to me.
Below. I agree, and I think my message is keep hoping.
Yeah, man.
Because I don't see the crumble happening, especially in the Premier League. We might not win the Champions League, we might not win the FA Cup. The Premier League's the one at the start of the season that I wanted.
It's the most important one.
It's the most important.
I
for me.
even
Your bread and
In
butter,
22
isn't it?
years,
I want it.
I don't see it happening. If it does, because there is still a possibility, I will take all the bullets and everything because we will
the team
deserve
getting
it.
licks from
And
us,
the
fam.
team will deserve it, of course, but I don't see it happening. So keep hating. But like Dylan said, hate always comes from below. It never comes from above. Guys, it's been a therapeutic
Yeah, it's been
first
all right.
Arsenal round table. Hopefully next time we do it, it'll be off the back of off a win or off a trophy.
We'll have the trophy bang in the middle.
Exactly. But big thank you to Josh. Big thank you to Dylan. Big thank you to Kenya.
Yeah.
Big thank you to everyone that tuned in. Make sure you like and subscribe to DR Sports, and we'll see you next time.